if you track for a couple of months, you learn what certain types of foods are and how many calories they're in. So it's not something you have to do forever. A lot of people say to me, it's tedious, it's too much work, and that's fair, but I taught my 73-year-old father to do it a few years ago, literally on his little cell phone with his glasses, pushing in the data into, and I just use MyFitnessPal. It's a free app. It's nothing fancy. And then again, we adjust accordingly as we go. It doesn't have to be a fancy app. It's a free app. You can pay for the advanced version, but again, it doesn't really cost very much. But if he can do it, he lost a significant amount of weight. I had to buy him a new belt a few months later for Christmas because there's 3 loops in his belt that like he had to tighten it in, and his belt was just not fitting him anymore. So my argument to that is if he can do this, barely looking, seeing what he's doing in his phone, we all can do it for a little while. And I just think the awareness of what we're putting into our body is very, very important. If you have no idea the calories and the energy that you're putting in your body each day, how do you know what you need to adjust? For example, with one of my clients, we needed him to lose some weight. We were training 5 days a week. I knew it was his nutrition. We inputted his food into MyFitnessPal. He was shocked to see that he was eating 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day. And then we just tweaked it a little bit. And lo and behold, after a month or two of tracking, he no longer had to track. He was successful in losing the weight, and he was able to maintain it because he knew what calories he was putting in. So yeah, it is a lot of calories in versus calories out. Circadian rhythm does make a big difference. The types of food does make a small difference, but really, if I want to be as simple and straightforward possibly as I can, calories in versus calories out really is the easiest way to look at it. If you want to take it to the next level, think about fasting and think about the time that you're eating and think about the type of macros throughout the day. So there's different levels that you can look at this, but really, if you're just starting, evaluate how much calories in a day you're consuming. Input them, but the greatest thing that I'm going to tell you today, this is great news, is that once you figure out your calories for the week over a 7-day period, then you can shift and have higher calorie days and lower calorie days. So the way you figure out how many calories that you're sort of allowed to have each day is you figure out a goal weight. So for example, say you're 150 pounds and you would love to lose 20 pounds. So your goal weight would be 130 pounds. Instead of doing 130 pounds, I want you to only take out 5 to 8 pounds per goal. So let me just explain that a little bit more clearly. If you put in MyFitnessPal that you want to lose 20 pounds, your calories are going to be way too low. So if you're used to eating 3,000 calories a day because you're 150 pounds, and then you put your goal weight at 130, your calories are going to be way too low, and you're going to be hungry, and you're going to feel deprived, and you are not going to stick with it. So instead of thinking end goal weight, think of your goal weight after a 5 to 8 week period. So the most that you typically should lose healthily is 1 pound a week. Sometimes there's going to be weeks where you lose none, and that's okay too. Your body's still really adjusting, and you're going to feel better when you eat a little bit less and higher quality food. So there's other things happening as you're doing this process. So the most you're inputting is 5 to 8 pounds because, again, the calories are going to go down as you get leaner. So keep that in mind. If you are feeling way too restricted at the beginning, the weight's going to come off too fast. You're not going to stick with it. And it's just not going to be sustainable. So this has to happen over a period of time. You have to be patient with anything. Anything that is worth having, and this is what I have in the back of my tank tops, is worth time and patience. So nothing comes like this. That's why diets, they work, but you never can keep the weight off because it's too quick, it's too rapid, but that's what we want, right? We want results tomorrow. That doesn't happen in wellness. And in fact, I don't think it happens in life at all. We all have to learn to be patient and embrace the process. And with nutrition, If you do not show patience and embrace a process of learning and getting you to where you need to be over an extended amount of time, you will never sustain the weight loss that you've achieved. And I know this, and I guarantee you that most of you have lost a shit ton of weight and are sitting here now going, yeah, she's right. The weight's back on. I need to figure out a new way of doing this. So you just input, instead of 130 pounds, you'd input 142 pounds or 145, 5-pound weight loss. Well, 5 to 8. So 8 would be the most. I actually recommend 5. We're going to adjust this as you go. Maybe this is too much food for you. Maybe it's not enough food. You have to listen to your body, really listen to it though, be honest with yourself, and see how you're feeling and adjust accordingly. If you're not sure how to do this, make sure that you hire someone to help you. I'm not a dietitian nor a nutritionist, but I have been doing this for 30 years. I know what works. And okay, I definitely cannot give you the nutrition content, the minerals, and the how many vitamins you're getting in a certain food. That is not something I'm able to do. But I do know that without patience and without an extended amount of time to practice the new way of you approaching your nutrition plan, you will not achieve long-term success ever. So that is so important. And you have to just embrace the process and let it happen in time. The longer it takes for you to get to where you need to be, the longer you will sustain wherever you've achieved, whatever you've achieved. And that is to do with nutrition, but obviously in life as well.